Mark Zuckerberg is making a move to open up more free speech on Facebook. I heard this last night and I posted a video about it, and I'm going to read some comments, and I'm just like, really, bro? Like, really? You know how many of my videos you took down? You've censored so many people's profiles for almost no reason whatsoever. But anyway, I guess we got to be Christians. We got to forgive and forget, right? I'm not necessarily sure how you feel about this, but we're going to take a listen and then I'll share some thoughts with you. I'm going to read some of your comments in a Facebook post. Again, this seems like it's coming from Elam because, we know what Elam said. Elam said that, I don't care how much money you give me. I don't care what you do for me. I don't care. I want to be able to say what I say.
Offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
Okay.
And what's been happening in reality, X is actually very good. For those of you who don't know, over 80% of the videos that I share with you, some of the subjects that I'm talking about and where I get my resources from is from X. So anyway, having said that, I think Mark Zuckerberg is realizing that he went the wrong direction and he's kind of trying to clean up somewhat. Anyway, I don't know how you feel about this, but I would like to hear your perspective and thought, because I was watching a video from WEF, the World Economic Forum, and they were talking about how misinformation and disinformation is like the greatest danger in the world.
The top concern for the next 2 years is not conflict or climate. It is disinformation and misinformation. These risks are serious because they limit our ability to tackle the big global challenges we are facing.
And I thought to myself, like, haven't you guys also been lying to people? Misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. And haven't you guys been part of that? I'm just asking questions. But if your free speech is supposed to be free, you're not allowed to have that. Anyway, let's listen to Mark Zuckerberg. I'll talk some more later. Take a listen.
Hey everyone. I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
So you've seen that, you heard that, right? I don't know how much of this I can believe, but it's still a good look. At least he's trying, right? I want to say a little too late with a new administration, right? Things can change, whether or not there's going to be some more easy way for us to speak on the platform. It could be a good thing. But others were asking the question back then, like, why were you censoring people and deleting their profiles when they hardly said anything wrong, right? So, yeah, you say, well, this is my platform. We can run it however we want. But here is a private sector being used to control the speech of its members by the power and the commands of the government. In some cases, the government had a backdoor through Facebook and was fact-checking and censoring conversations that were not supposed to take place, especially during the time of the pestilence. You know what I mean? When the pestilence 19 came up, we were not allowed to say a number of things. So how many lives have been lost because you censored a communication that was supposed to go forward? My people are destroyed for what? Lack of knowledge. You keep knowledge away from the people, they make bad decisions. And some of these individuals now, their bodies are plagued with all kind of issues. And you know what I mean? Because the injection had stuff in it that was not supposed to be in it. The people didn't know. When people were trying to sound the alarm, you shut their mouths. But now, I'm a Christian. I'm gonna behave. But I know what these people did to many of our conversations. So that's why some people in the chat room are saying, man, I don't trust this guy. I hear you, Yvonne. Yvonne says, I'm very suspicious. Me too. Anyway, there's a lot I can say about this. But again, we got to find ways to speak about this. I did a video yesterday and I had to speak in code words to get the message out. YouTube is crazy. Facebook has been crazy. There was a video that I put out of an experience that I had doing Pestilence 19, things I saw with my eyes that was resulting as a consequence of having accepted the injections. I saw some stuff, friends, that broke me down. I put a video out. The video on YouTube had gotten over 500,000 views in a few days. The same video on Facebook was going viral. YouTube heard about it, shut the video down. And Facebook heard about it, shut the video down. And they both censored the conversation. And the people did not get the rest of the message. And the message that I was sharing was a fact. It was an experience that I had and things that I saw with my eyes. And I had to move that video all the way to Rumble. If you want to see it, I can send it to you. But it's all the way on Rumble. And this is the only place it's able to stay. Because these guys been shutting people's conversations down. And they say, oh, we're not against free speech. You know, somebody made a joke, right? And this is a joke. I'm going to read your comments in a minute. I'm going to stop talking. I'm just venting here. Okay, I have an experience. I'm wounded. There's some traumatic experiences I went through, okay? That's why I'm talking like that. Somebody said this. Guess who said Facebook was not suppressing free speech? Announces Facebook will stop suppressing free speech. Yeah, that's an interesting one. But again, a lot of people are saying this. He's trying to appease Trump. I feel like it's a political movement. It's okay. I'm not against your politics. You can have it. I do. I have mine. But what I find to be an issue here is the fact that Mark Zuckerberg is doing this because he thinks he has the muscle and the ability to do it. Like in a time where you need heroes, they tend to run away and capitulate to the powers that be. But when you need them to stand for you, they are nowhere to be found. But when things are okay now, things are peaceful now, all is well, they feel confident enough to come back and do what they should have done in the first place. I have an issue with people who do stuff like that. Like you have no backbone whatsoever. Why didn't you stand for people just like you should have done in the first place? Why was that had to be? Why did we have to go through what we went through? Anyway, somebody said, I don't trust this guy at all. Me too. I don't trust him. But I will be waiting. We're going to wait and see whether or not these things are so, right? All we can say is, we're going to wait, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. We're going to see if you have the ability to do what Elam did. Again, I'm not saying Elam is a perfect guy. But one thing I know for certain, X, like, you say what you want to say here. They will fact check you. They'll put a community note. They do these things. But listen, on X, you get the whole thing, boy. Sometimes there's too much on here. Sometimes I'm like, there's some stuff on X. I'm like, boy, I can't see that. Like you will see stuff that you wish you couldn't see. You know, it's not a place for children in the first place. But sometimes you just have to bypass certain videos and focus on what you need to focus. But when you're looking for facts, truth, stuff that the media will not speak about, X got it going on, baby. I'm telling you. You run a YouTube channel and get some information that are solid and basic. Just going on X in a matter of in an hour or so, I can gather enough information to put out so many videos throughout the day. So easy to do. That's how I'm able to pump out those videos one after another. It's because X makes it so easy for me. I got links, articles, videos, everything I need is there. It's a source of information, and everybody's posting. That's why he's like, this is the new form of social media. This is the new media network. It really is. You can't go to the mainstream media. It's so politically divided, so you can't trust them anymore. But if you go on X, you can do and share your speech. Is Facebook ever going to be an X? I don't think so. They are light years behind what X has been doing. And I'm not saying that Elon Musk is a perfect guy. He's got issues too, but he needs prayer. But when it comes to free speech, I give him some godly respect. Oh, yeah, I give him some godly respect. Anyway, much more could be said. I want to hear your thoughts. How do you feel about Mark Zuckerberg coming out now trying to make things right, righting his wrongs? How do you feel about that? Do you think it's political? Do you think it's because he's really that kind of man? Do you think this is an act of repentance? What about the people whose profile has been removed and retracted and deleted? What about that? Even making a move from California to Texas says a whole lot. I would like to hear from you. Share your thought and perspective with me. Link in the description below. Like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more. Check out this video. My right, your left. Click that video. You're going to enjoy what I got to say in this one. Have a good one. Bye.